Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's fourth installment of the Ruindall Rambles. I'm your DM for today. My name is Fable. As I said, I will be the lovely DM, and I will also be playing the titular, the Antlered King. Would my lovely players please introduce themselves from top to bottom?
Oh, I am on the top this time. Hello, it's me, Artist of Obsessions, also known as Obby, and today I'm once again playing Ruby Red, a child.
I'm a child.
A child.
I,
No.
I I'm Cranky Teapot or Cranky, and I will be playing Colin Blank, local bird brain.
Hi, my name is Magic. I'm playing a rat.
You're playing the Rat Man.
Rat Man!
Rat Man.
Love
Na, na, na,
rats.
na, 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 na. Anyways,
Rat Man, Rat Man.
listen, he's a Rat Man, and we love Duster. Okay, we love him.
We do.
He's
we
a good
do
boy.
love Duster.
He's a good boy. He's MVP. Though, actually, I will say... Actually, I'm tempted to say Colin was MVP last game, if just because...
Colin did really well.
He rolled
Yeah,
really
Colin
well
did
last
wonderful.
game. So,
I gotta say, Colin has somehow earned Ruby's respect. I don't know how it happened.
wow.
But you know what? It happened.
He's gained the respect of one. But there's the person whose respect matters most he's yet to gain. If ever.
Yep.
But anyways,
Oh, that's Justice feelings about Colin.
so... I have to burp again. God.
But I will
I don't
say
want-
half of them is, wow, this bird is dumb.
That seems
I
to be
mean-
the general consensus.
I mean, yeah, that's all right. So, to pick up where we left off in our last session, where did we leave off? Yes. So, the little gang, Ruby, Colin, and Duster, were left in the ruins of Ruindall to basically clean up, renovate a little bit, so Antler could bring someone in to properly look at the place and see what needed to be done to clean the place up and make it like an actual living place, an actual working fortress, castle / home base for Antler's empire, for him to rebuild and regain his throne and crown and
Yes.
take over Inkwell, the whole shebang. We all know this.
Oh yeah, just casually planning to take over Inkle.
Yeah.
It's
Just
fine.
casually dethrone the current monarchy.
Don't
And
worry
take
about
its
it.
place. Don't worry about it.
Fine.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Number is Nefis a
Uh,
traitor.
The problem is, here's the problem. There's only 3 of you currently under Antler's employ, and the other problem is that Antler's flat out broke. Actually,
Yeah.
I think most of you are flat out broke, save for the gold you guys have managed to find within Ruindall itself that got left behind. But even that, when Antler was given a receipt last game of how much an actual full-on renovation of this place would be, yeah, no, not even combined. You guys do not have enough to
Even then,
afford.
I know compared to the rest of us, one of our characters is loaded. I won't
yes.
say who. We can keep that a surprise.
Yeah, we'll keep that a surprise. I'm well aware of who it is, but we'll leave that as a surprise. Now, but fate seems to maybe have given the gang a place where they can go and make some money. For Little Corner is holding a festival today. What the festival is, you'll have to find out in the game itself. But festival is a good place to. There's a lot of people with a lot of wallets.
Mm-hmm.
I look over at Ruby. Because I know at least one of you is at least planning crime. I don't know what the other 2 are planning for money, but currently this game is starting with you all following Antler. For once, Antler is actually joining you on your escapade into the town of Little Corner. And despite the name, it's not as little as you'd think. Is it as big as cities like Toontown? No, certainly not. But this is one of the bigger centers of trade in this corner of the of the Jizneb Kingdom, since it's right by water traffic basically, with a river that goes right into the ocean. So any trade is mostly by water. So it gets plenty of traffic going in. And right now, speaking of traffic, it is bustling with people. People, tents, even just people. Even there are just some performers that have mats out and are just performing there on the side of the street. And there are streamers.
Ooh.
Streamers, you hear little pops going off if people are setting off little those little poppers. It is a full on
Nice.
It is a full on shindig going on. And yeah, you are now in Little Corner, and the cat's trying to interrupt my intro. No, kitty cat. No. Let me move the cat out of the way. Just one moment.
The cat just no. I want the attention. Stop.
It's like, no, this show is about me now. It's like, no, cat. It's not, in fact. All right. So you are all now entering Little Corner. Not for the first time. But you are now entering for the first time with it. This is probably the busiest, the most bustled you have ever seen it, and the most colorful.
Yes.
Antler stops at the very entrance of the town that leads, coming from the north entrance, which leads in. When you go from the north entrance, leads to the ruins. I can talk. I swear I can talk. But Antler stops at the very edge of, the hustle and bustle, the excitement, and the partying, and he gives it a look. You can't quite tell. You'd have to roll insight to try and tell what he's thinking, but he's definitely giving it a look over.
Boy, howdy, insight. Time to roll.
Roll insight.
I'm debating. Duster might not even be able to see Antler right now.
Oh yeah, because Duster's. I'm assuming Duster is in Ruby's basket at the moment.
Yeah.
All right.
Duster.
Oh
It's
boy.
very loud.
19. 8.
8 for Ruby.
Ow.
This feels wrong.
Colin, are you gonna be getting good rolls again this game? Oh right. I was waiting for Duster to roll just as you were telling me that Duster probably wouldn't see. Anyways, Ruby, you're distracted by all the it's a festival. It's a tune festival at that. So there are probably some familiar things.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so I'm sure it looks a lot like festivals that you have seen, but there are a lot of aspects of it that you haven't seen. There are tune-ish games in booths that you probably might have not seen before because they're booths that worked on tune logic, and that's already for a real kind trying to make sense of. Colin, however, you're actually probably seen this site a good couple of times, so you're not as distracted enough
He's a city bird.
You're a city bird. You're used to hustle and bustle. So when you look over at Antler, you can, uncharacteristically, you can tell that Antler does not look too jazzed about what he's seeing. Not looking too joyful. As one usually would when it comes to festivals and parties.
What's got you down? What's got you down, boss?
I beg your pardon.
You don't look very cheerful.
Oh no, I am oh so joyful. Sarcasm is, I'm not even going to try and roll any kind of persuasion. Sarcasm is dripping from his voice.
I'm sorry, I'm just gonna roll insight to see if this goes over Colin's head. I hope it does.
Please,
+4.
please.
9.
Good.
9. Colin, as far as you can tell, Antler actually is having a good time. Maybe he just shows it differently.
Gosh, gosh, I would say Ruby would react, but she's probably like looking at one of the booths nearby.
Yeah. So
Colin just he can't wait to like check everything out.
Antler will look around before sighing and takes a step through. Remember why we are here. We are not here to have fun or lollygag. We are here to earn money so we can fix up the ruins.
Okay, really quick. I realized that I foolishly forgot to put another item Colin has had, and I haven't used it in a single time. He has marvelous pigments.
Oh my gosh. What do you mean he has marvelous? Oh!
He got it from the train, and I never used it a single time.
And oh my gosh, how did Colin get marvelous pigments?
I'm gonna look at what that is real quick, because I don't know what that is.
Exactly what that is, Fable, and oh no.
What's happening?
Let's see.
Hey, hi back, Magic. Apparently, Colin has a very powerful magic item.
What?
I'm opening my DM's guide. Give me a second.
I could just throw the link on there because I just had an idea regarding the marvelous pigments.
Okay, so to sum up for anyone,
I'm sorry, I forgot about this.
to sum up for any listeners, marvelous pigments. If I'm looking at this correctly, you're basically able to cover over 1,000 square feet of surface, which lets you create inanimate objects or terrain features. So door, pit, flowers, trees, cells, rooms, or wow. So you can, after 10,000 cubic feet, takes 10 minutes to cover 100 square feet. So you could basically just make shit with these pigments.
Fable. This is the thing in D&D that is Toonish. This is the most Toonish magical item from the base D&D stuff.
Hey, Colin, I'm just gonna say beforehand, when Antler finds out you have this and haven't told him, he's gonna get really mad and really annoyed.
Because it didn't occur to Colin to use it.
You know what? No, this is great, and I feel like this is an in-character thing.
Wonderfully in character.
This is incredibly on brand, and I can't wait for Antler to find out about it if he ever does, because Antler finding out will rely on Colin, and Antler doesn't rely on Colin much. Oh my god. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I probably should have revealed this later on because the reaction would have been even better. But anyway, I'm very impatient. And point is, Colin is going to ask if anyone hey okay blah blah. Give me a second.
Oh
okay.
Gosh.
Earning money. What ideas do you guys have?
I know exactly the kind of ideas that Ruby has, but
she's not gonna share with Colin, is she?
She's not, because those ideas involve crime.
Yeah.
And Ruby knows how Colin feels about crime.
I'm just gonna roll an insight for Antler real quick on this matter between Colin's not liking crime.
Well, I can already tell you, Duster has no ideas because he doesn't value money as a currency.
Yeah, Antler's picking up enough. I mean, he already knew that Ruby wants to do crime, so he's just gonna let Ruby do that. Whatever mess she gets into, he's confident enough that the destructive child can get herself of whatever mess she gets herself into. As long as she gets money at the end of the day, he doesn't care.
That's the hope.
As for Colin, he's gotten enough of the impression that this is very much a law-abiding fellow. So he will sigh and go, "Well, there do appear to be many booths around, and I imagine there would be more than enough people requiring help. And who would be willing to pay for said help, if you catch my meaning." Then Antler looks at Colin and realizes that, how about this to make it very clear for you? Go see which booths require help, and only help if they are willing to pay you.
Okay.
I need to be no. I need you to repeat it back to me so I know that you understand what I am saying.
Go help the booths.
Yes, but do not give help without accepting payment. You have to be being paid in order to work. Understand?
Please know that in the background, Ruby is dying of laughter. She's just wheezing.
Antler will slowly look over at Ruby, look her up and down, and go, "Where is the rat?"
Ruby grins and holds up her picnic basket and flips it open just a little bit.
Antler peeks into it. "Ah, there you are. I have a job for you."
Okay.
And Antler will hold out his hand to the basket and look expectantly at you, Duster.
Duster looks hesitantly at the hand, is just like,
I am
okay.
waiting.
And, Duster climbs onto the hand.
Antler will then turn back to Colin, look at Colin, and Bird, remove your hat for a moment.
Oh. Okay.
And then he will hold you, Duster, over to Colin's head. "You will be sure this bird does not kill himself, and make sure he does not, and make sure whatever work he does, he's being paid for." Yes, I am instigating the ratatouille in this case because I cannot resist.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Duster, a little confusedly, climbs under the hat. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I myself...
Oh, no, sorry, go ahead.
Seeing that Duster is now in place, he doesn't mind Ruby. Now then, I will also be looking to see what booths require work, to see if I am also capable of earning us money. You know, you all have your duties. And without another word, he's gonna start walking away, as he do.
Ruby just gives like a thumbs up as he's walking away.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry he's like this.
It's fine. It's fine. We can work with this. Well, I know exactly what Ruby's gonna start doing.
Cool.
Boy howdy.
Cool. In that case, since you've all been left in the middle of this festival, in rows and rows of booths and entertainers and tents, I would like you all to roll perception.
Time for perception. Oh boy.
That's true. That's true. But since you are helping, you're bait. I'm sorry, Magic, but Duster's basically there to assist Colin.
Yeah.
So Cranky, you are having an assist, so you may roll perception with advantage.
Yeah, also, just a second. For some reason, it says my passive wisdom is +1. It is +2. Anyway, point is, advantage. Okay. 20. plus-
Ruby, that's a 2. Ruby,
Look,
come on.
Well,
That's a 4.
I I'm rolling for Oliver. I'm rolling for Oliver as well, because Oliver's here. He's not, by Ruby's feet like he usually is, because he's not a pig at the moment, but that's fine.
People, do you want me
Okay.
to roll anyway?
Oh, thank goodness,
Yeah.
Oliver.
Yeah, go ahead and roll anyways.
17.
Okay, I can work with this.
it's okay. Also I did have an idea for how Colin could like get attention from like people who may need help if he doesn't manage to perceive.
Okay. Well, I'm tempted to ask you for that, but Duster has rolled a 17. So I think whatever you're planning to, whatever Colin was planning to just about do, you feel a tap on top of your head as Duster points out. You look down a ways away, and you see one of the booths. Which booth is this? This is one of the. I don't know what they're called exactly, but it's basically where you throw the ball at the stack of cups.
Mhm.
Oh, those ones.
Yeah.
Oh.
You see one of those. You see one of those booths, and you just see you see only one person there, which isn't bad. But he looks, from what you can tell from where you are, he looks so tired. He looks like he spent the whole day getting this all set up, and like it was only him
No.
doing it. So he just looks tired, like really tired. And there are so many people trying to come in because this is like one of the most like easier games that people go for. Is you give money to have a ball and throw it at the stack of cups, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
But it looks like it's only been him, and he looks a bit overworked.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Uh,
Would Oliver also see this with his 15?
Oliver, what you see, Oliver, you do see that, but Oliver, you also, Oliver, you prick up your ears and you actually hear, there's a lot of sound happening here, obviously, within the cacophony of a festival, but off to your right, where the booths open up to a more open area where tents and set up stages are, you hear, and if you look around the corner of the booths, you can actually see a crowd of people starting to form to watch one of the stage performances.
Ho ho ho! Oh ho! I think seeing this, Oliver, who at the moment is a weasel. He's a little weasel tune because part of the find familiar spell is that the familiar can take other forms. So today he is a weasel. So he's just kind of chilling on Ruby's shoulder, and he taps her shoulder and points out towards the large crowd. And Ruby, she immediately gets an excited little grin and basically like gives Colin a sort of good luck little salute with 2 fingers before
Colin
before
waves.
going off on her own. Oh boy.
Oh boy, and off she goes.
Off she goes.
Colin, what do you do?
He's gonna march right up to the booth with the really tired tune.
You walk up just as some people have walked away. They finish their gameplay. You've managed to catch the guy at a lull in the crowd. But he doesn't notice you just yet. He's leaning against.
It doesn't help that Colin is very short.
Yeah, it doesn't help that is very short. That is very short, and he's just like leaning on the counter, chin in his hand. His eyes are just drooping.
Hello.
What? He actually looks up. What? And before he finally has the idea to look over the counter, and Colin, you just see the edge of this guy's eyebrows over the table as he looks down at you. Goes, can I help you? You here to play a game?
Can I help you? You look very tired. You look very tired. Do you need a Do you need a helping? Do you need a helping hand?
This is a just for context. This looks like this is a real kind man. Older gentleman with very big white curly beard. With those little straw boater hats on, and the pink and white striped vests of booth that I think a lot of the booth vendors were given. Just because they're just like, hey, it's a festival, and you're booth vendors. If you want to dress up and stuff, you can. But anyways, but he raises a single eyebrow at you, Colin, and goes, well.
Duster is gonna tap Colin's head in a hopeful reminder of payment.
I'm just gonna roll insight to see. Because,
do you want to roll insight or history to see if Colin remembers what he was told?
Well, history is a -3.
Oh, okay. No, roll insight, please. Oh no, that's worse.
It's too late.
Oh, it's too late. Oh boy. Oh, that's awful. Oh, that's awful. It's a 9. I mean, it's not the worst, but it's not great.
Oh no.
Yeah, the old man just cocks an eyebrow at you, Colin, and just goes, well, doesn't seem like my nephew's coming back to help me out. Yeah, all right. No funny business though. Have you ever worked a booth before?
Absolutely not.
No. Well, it's easy. Well, it's easy enough. People will come up to the booth. All you have to do is stack up the cups like this, and he will. He'll move over to the side, and these are the kind of booths that are like full on like wooden booths that he opens like a little side door to let you in, Colin.
He trots in.
Yeah, trots in, and then he will proceed to show you how he stacks up the cups, which is nothing fancy. You've got two rows of barrels. The first row has 2 cups at the bottom, 1 cup on top, and then the ones in the back are much taller. And he just shows you how he stacks those back up after they've been knocked over. Then he shows the basket of little baseballs that he keeps under the counter. And whenever someone comes up, it's a gold piece for a. It's supposed to be 1 gold piece, but you can charge them 5 gold for a baseball. Let them throw if they.
Why would I charge 5 if it's 1?
Because it's a festival, and you need to make money. Now. And you see the old man stall for a second. You actually see the old man just stall for a second. Like, he has his hand up and mouth open as he's about to say something, but then you see his eyes kind of slowly blink as he kind of just... It looks like this man has just blue screened for a second.
Abel, can I do something?
What would you like to do?
I'd like to cast a spell.
Okay. What spell would you like to cast?
I'd like to cast Disguise Self.
On who?
I can only cast it on myself. It's called Disguise Self.
Oh, that's true. I'm being dumb. Okay. Into what?
I can. Sorry. I've had this idea for a while, and I didn't know I was gonna shut up. But Duster's gonna turn into a small bird, like a little bit smaller than himself, but not by much.
Oh,
and
Chad's a very small blackbird.
Yeah, and it has like one of those like straw hats. It has one of those straw hats.
Oh my god.
And he's gonna slip out of the hat and goes, we are getting paid for this, yes?
What? Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. Bet what pay? Oh, you wanted to get paid doing this? I thought you-
Preferably, yes.
I guess that's fair. Tell you what, you charge people 5 gold for one baseball, and I'll see about paying you at the end, or at least until my no good nephew comes back.
Duster's gonna tip his hat. It's a nice little tip.
Oh man, tips his hat right back. Quite a polite quite a polite little tune bird.
What a polite little tune bird.
What a polite little tune bird. Goodness. He explains the rest about the booth, what you need to do. He shows you the prizes, which knocked over cups get people prizes, that sort of thing, and then he sets you up on the stool by the counter, and he goes to the back, and he falls asleep. Colin and Duster, you two have now been left in charge of this little booth. Anything you guys wanted to do before I hop over to Ruby?
Is there any spare bow to hat? Actually, you know what? Well, also, like, if there isn't, Colin has a disguise kit, so I think even if there isn't,
I'm gonna save you there, because to your luck, you see a little under the counter, besides the buckets and buckets of baseballs, you see a little I'm forgetting what they're called, but you're seeing a little vendor outfit with the pinstripe vest, and the little boater hat.
Oh my gosh.
You see one has been left under the counter, with a name on it that is not your name, but you can infer that this is probably the little booth tender uniform that the old man's supposed nephew was supposed to wear, but nephew is nowhere to be seen. So.
Colin's probably only gonna take the hat, stash his own hat away in his hammer space, and borrow it.
Borrow, yeah. Borrow.
Yes, borrow. Just for a bit.
Just for a bit.
Colin is not going to steal intentionally.
Yeah, Colin might not steal it, but hey, I can make no promises for Ruby.
I mean, we'll see if Colin remembers that it's even on his head. Duster, how are you doing? You've actually put yourself out in the open.
He has a disguise on right now from Disguise Self, but his internal monologue is just panic. I will let you know this.
Oh.
Oh no!
Does Colin want to roll insight on Duster?
Yeah, Colin can roll insight on Duster.
That is
6.
Nope.
Colin. I mean, considering Duster's on top of Colin's head, he's probably not going to notice.
Colin,
Yeah.
I'm disappointed with you. Come on, man. Anyways, while you two have been left in charge of this booth, we shall hop over.
Also, just a second. When Mark brings up a point like, does Colin recognize Duster? But also, I
Does
imagine
he?
that Colin didn't see he's on top of his head. He's attuned, but he can't see what's on his head.
Does not have 360 vision.
No.
But you heard Duster's voice,
Can't see
and
my forehead.
Duster's voice in a very weird accent Duster has not used before.
I mean, listen, if Colin wants to roll to see if he knows that it's Duster, I mean
let's just go to Ruby.
Yeah, let's go. Let's hop over to Ruby. Hey, Ruby.
Oh, boy.
Ruby. So you are headed over to the crowd that is in front of one of the built up stages, where there's currently the act of a Toonish knight knight in shining armor, facing off against a real kind, dressed in a dragon suit.
Aww.
And all the people are watching this currently, and there's a good couple laughs. This is definitely a gag funny haha kind of show.
Hee hee hoo hoo. I think Ruby like kind of like looks at the show for a little bit before she starts like looking around at the crowd specifically, because like she wants to gauge what she can get away with here.
All right, roll me perception.
Perception. And I'm also gonna roll for Oliver as well, because good golly, I know. Oh wow, actually.
That's a 17. That's 17.
Huh.
That's not bad.
True.
So
I might just stick with that for now.
all right. So Ruby, from what you can tell, it's okay. It's a pretty decent show. There's definitely a good amount of people that you know are possible good money grabs. That said, you see a couple people that are kind of just standing there. They're eating vendor food. They're kind of just standing there to just spend the time to eat their food. They're kind of just a few people are only just glancing at the show for the most part. So this isn't a show that has everyone's rapt attention.
Okay. I'm just sitting here like, Ruby, I know you want to steal, but I also know you want to be smart about the stealing, and I'm not smart, unfortunately. Gosh. I think she's just gonna go for it, I suppose. Wait until she finds someone who's distracted and try to pickpocket them.
All right then.
Just gonna go for it.
Okay, in that case, Ruby, roll me. I guess you're just gonna go up to the first person you see who looks away and roll me a sleight of hand.
Oh my gosh, Ruby, please don't blow this.
Would it be an advantage because they're distracted?
Maybe.
You know what? Since you did take the time to find someone who is distracted, yes, I will give you advantage on the sleight of hand.
Okay, Red. Ruby.
I'm really glad.
Please.
I am so glad I gave you that advantage. Well, so 13. Ruby, you go up to the nearest person that looks fairly distracted and and your hand is partway into his pocket when suddenly you hear a, "Hey, what are you doing?" And Ruby, you look up to the side of you, and there's a woman who's standing right next to the man, who's looking over and looking straight at you, Ruby.
Can I real fast roll deception?
Deception
Not
for...
gonna go well.
I mean, that
Because
depends.
like Ruby's gonna try to make it look like she tripped a little bit. Perhaps.
I will
But
do so at disadvantage.
yeah, that's what I figured.
Oh, that's a zero. That's a that one. That
That's
makes
a
a zero.
I
Oh, wow.
I end up putting her like even deeper into the pocket.
Honestly,
Yeah, it
Ruby.
definitely looks like that, doesn't it?
Oh, it sure
Ruby.
does. It sure does. In fact, with that zero, the man you're trying to pickpocket suddenly noticed his female companion calling you out, and he turns around and moves away. Goes, "What? Hey, what the heck? What are you doing? You trying to pick my pocket?"
Like Ruby's frantic,
And Ruby, I would like you to make a dex save.
Wow, Ruby, you absolute fool.
For Ruby, before you can get away, this man grabs you by the wrist, and is looking around, calling, "Guards! Guards! I have a pickpocket
Oh my-
here!"
Oh, okay.
And Ruby, you start to hear the sound of clinking metal armor coming towards you.
Oh boy, ha! I'm gonna. Ruby, panicking, is gonna look up at the man, and she's gonna attempt to cast Charm
Oh god, remind me what I have to do for jumpers.
You gotta make a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw. Okay, this man has basic intelligence, so I'm just gonna give him 9. Is that enough?
Yeah, that does not make it.
All right. So suddenly I don't know. You get.
Ruby just makes a very pleading look, like, please let me go.
Oh, and this man is frowning at you, Ruby. When suddenly his face softens, like, oh, look at that face. How could he stay mad at that face? Just look at you. And he's gonna like, oh no, I'm sorry, kid. I'm sorry. And the woman beside him is just like, what? What is going on here? Oh no, it's fine. She does this all the time. It's fine, hon. She does this all the time. She's just such a crack up. Gosh, look at you making me. And he reaches over and rustles your hair a little bit, like, you little scamp, you little so and so.
Ruby just gives the very innocent Bambi eyes, or at least as much as she can, while she's real.
Yeah, and I'm gonna roll insight on the woman real quick to see if she buys this at all, because she has not been charmed. 8. Nope. She's like, she doesn't really get what's going on right now. Like, oh, is this? She doesn't really know. I mean, it's like, oh, you know this kid? Okay. But Ruby, you still see guards come in. These two, very tall. One's a very tall, toonish guard. Looks like a giant badger, basically. Looks like a giant badger. And then next to him, he has a dwarf companion, real kind dwarf companion, who looks gruff. And the dwarf, she says, "Is there a problem here, sir?" He just goes, "Oh, no, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I thought it was a different pickpocket. But no, this little girl here we've been playing this joke for ages. I just look at her. I love her so much." And both the guards kind of exchange looks. They look over at the woman, and the woman just shrugs. She doesn't know either. And the guards look over at you, Ruby, for a moment. And they give you a look. Well, if nothing. Well, then, in that case, continue to enjoy the festival. They still give you a look, Ruby, but then they go back to their walk. The man reaches over and wrestles your hair again, like, you little. Look at this kid. I love this kid.
Gosh.
Ruby, roll.
There's no one around to roll insight on Ruby, but Ruby is.
Ruby
has many emotions.
You say that. Give me a second. What's a 15 get me?
Okay, well. Boy, howdy, Ruby. Ruby has quickly realized that she is not good at stealing things. She is also both panicking and is relieved that she somehow managed to get away with that. Because that was looking really bad for a second there. And she's looking like very much she wants to abandon this plan.
Yeah, Ruby, you're slowly backing away until you suddenly feel your back bump into something more like someone behind you, and you just hear a low chuckle. Just. Well, I see that didn't go quite as you expected, did it?
Oh no. Ruby just gets like the grumpiest little frown you've ever seen on this child. And she just glares up at Antler.
Antler looks down. You can't see within the darkness of his hood, but that chuckle tells you that he is quite amused. But then he looks up, sees the charmed man, the very confused woman who's still staring, goes, "Pardon us, if you would excuse us," and he will lead you away from the crowd, Ruby.
Yep.
Away.
And Ruby is not dropping charm person for a while.
That's a good idea. That's a very good idea. But Antler leads you away towards the section where there are just tables set out for people to sit. Towards one of the empty tables. And he takes a seat. So what were you hoping? So, that did not go very well for you. You're lucky your charmed person worked.
Ruby just lets out a big sigh. Just said, and she signs like, well, obviously, I'm, She's just real grumpy.
Antler tilts his head a little bit, but he actually looks over at Oliver. And what?
Oh, yeah, Oliver, who's just chilling on Ruby's shoulder and is kind of looking up at Antler like,
Yeah, Antler actually seems a little less, up to this point, he has regarded Oliver in complete disinterest. But this is the first time he's actually, probably directly looked at Oliver. That wasn't with pure contempt.
hello?
And what about you? What would you have done if your master had been caught?
Well, I would have done what I could, but and like, he lifts up his little paws.
My understanding is that weasels have quite a fair bite, and they do have claws.
That's true, and, well, Ruby can technically cast spells through me, so I suppose that's another option.
Perhaps you both should consider your plan a bit more before you go rushing in.
And, like, the two of them look at each other like, Ruby doesn't want to admit it, but that's a good point.
I'm gonna roll with the 15 that I have, and Antler just nods. Then he will actually roll perception.
Perception, huh? Boy howdy, I know how this is gonna go for Ruby. Yeah, that's what I figured.
If Oliver wants to roll.
Can Oliver can... I'm looking at the Weasel stat sheet, and it says that he can have advantage on perception checks that involve hearing. So if it's something that he can hear, maybe he can have advantage.
Yeah, I will allow it.
Rad. Oh boy.
Yeah, and he needs that advantage.
Oh boy.
The bet.
I hate Ruby.
All right. This is what I'll give you is that when Antler is standing up, he is you notice enough that he is using his mostly his staff to get himself up off the stool. But once he's up, he doesn't seem like he's tired. But anyways, unless you need me here to save you from your blunder again, I'll be off.
Oh boy, Ruby very pointedly makes the sign of I can handle myself before Oliver very, very grumpily jabs her in the side of her neck. Just like an elbow kind of thing. And like, Ruby glares at Oliver, and Oliver glares back up at Ruby, and they just both sigh.
I'm well aware you can handle yourself, but be aware that you are not here for just yourself. And be mindful of the guards. And he will begin to walk away, if you have nothing else to say.
Yeah, Ruby doesn't really have much else to say. She's just, She's doing a think.
Doing a think?
Doing a think. Gotta reconsider the plan a bit.
All right. Well, while you do that, we're gonna hop back over to Colin and Duster, and I'm gonna ask. What do I...
Also, just a moment. I
Hmm?
do want to give you the mental image of Colin just like barely peering over the edge of the booth.
And just a smaller bird sitting on top of Colin's head.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that.
Yes.
That's really
Good.
good. That's really
Good.
that's a good image. I love that. I love that image. Oh my god, that's a really good image. Okay. It's been a couple minutes now, and you two have been running the booth with oh god, I have to burp again. God. One sec. Man. This is what I get for eating a burger right before game.
The borps. They're
Borg,
here.
the borps, the burger borps, the burger burps. Oh no, I've been struck with the burger burps. There's a burping contest booth, couple booths down from you. So you've been hearing some wild. You guys have been hearing some wild burps. Like,
I'm so down. So painful.
huh? What?
There's a burping booth.
Burping booth. Burping booth. Yeah, there's a. Oh, sorry. Did you not hear what I said?
Yeah, I zoned out.
Oh, there's a burping booth like a couple booths down from here, and you've been hearing some wicked burps coming from over there. And you think the biggest burp you've heard came from like this little 10-year-old child with little pigtails? Like she walked away with the biggest teddy bear, looking pretty proud of herself. But anyways, I would like you. Man, why do I make you roll for this bit? This was the thing that stumped me when making this was... Actually, you know what? I'm going to ask you to roll either... I'm going to ask you to roll either athletics or performance.
Huh. Okay. Athletics.
Take that athletics.
Let's take performance. It's got a +3 for that.
14.
15. Alright. Yeah, as soon as the old man went to sleep, at first you were getting just like a decent trickle of people, and it wasn't, it was like one after another, but it wasn't like crazy. But now it's suddenly there's a whole bunch of people in line who want to play this game. Suddenly lunch, people have like eaten food, and now they're ready to get back in the games, and suddenly there's a whole bunch of people, real kind and toons, dwarves, elves, a whole bunch of people who just want to play this game for some reason. And they're putting down like multiple golds for multiple baseballs to have a go. So, but Colin, you're managing to keep up with a 15. You're keeping up surprisingly well in terms of at least keeping them entertained. If you're not going like the fastest, and I almost called Duster Colin. I almost said Colin.
Colin 2.
Colin number 2.
Colin 2, like officially, if I didn't already plan out a name.
It would mean it would work. You are a little blackbird, but.
Colin Jr.
And Duster with a 14, you're having a bit of time. There's that's a lot of people that are suddenly in front of this booth that you are in front of, that you only have your disguised self to guard you from. But luckily, since you've mostly been keeping on top of Colin's head, and occasionally, mostly your job has been there to remind Colin, like, hey, wait, remember, the guy wants us to charge 5 gold for...
Every now and then, Colin is like, oh yeah, a bowl is like 5 gold.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, each one of those times, I imagine it's Duster patting you on the head, like, no.
Yeah.
But by the time the last person is there, they're slamming 10 gold onto the counter, being like, I want two baseballs. I'm gonna get the biggest prize here.
Oh boy.
Absolutely, sir.
Yeah. This guy. I just made this guy off the spot, but he absolutely has radical sunglasses on right now. Radical sunglasses, and he's got a mohawk.
I
I'm
don't
so
think
glad.
Duster's ever seen sunglasses.
Well, you have now.
Yeah.
And Colin goes ahead and gets the guy the baseball.
Heck yeah! Watch how professional does it. And this guy, he showfully takes a couple steps back from the booth.
Oh, no.
He rolls his shoulder, he stretches a little bit, and he reels back his arm with the baseball. And
Colin is watching in anticipation.
yeah, and you watch as this baseball goes ding, hits the back, then it deflects off the barrel, off like the edge of the barrel. It misses, and it's suddenly ricocheting all over the booth. And I need you to make a dex save.
Oh no!
Save.
Could
I
have
just
foreseen
looked down
this.
at my paper. That's not even where my character sheet is.
Holy crap, Colin!
Colin, 15. Colin, it's one of those moments where Colin, you duck down, but Duster, you're left hanging still in the air in the toonish
no.
moment, and the baseball passes right between you two. Before Duster, you fall back down and land on Colin's head.
I'm just imagining like Duster like ending up spinning in the air a bit. As like the baseball
pinwheel?
loses past.
Oh my god, that's great. That's and that ball suddenly goes straight for the guy, and I need to roll a dex save for him as well. It's a straight D20. I don't think this guy 7. This guy gets nailed right in the head, and you see this guy go floop onto his back, like, oh man, ow, my eye, and he suddenly gets up one of his sunglasses. He looks fine for a second. He has that moment where he's got, little ding on top. Let me start over. He's got like the little big bump on his forehead. He's got birds. He's got birds around his head, and suddenly you see you're able to watch as one of the glasses pops out of his shades, and you see his eye just blinking like
Oh no.
And then he oh no, sorry, you go ahead.
Never mind. Sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. It's all good. I'm taking a drink of water though, because this guy's voice is not the best decision.
Yeah, my customer service instincts are taking over. Duster wouldn't say it though.
But this guy suddenly frowns. He gets up. He goes over to the counter. Go like, "Hey, what gives, man? This game's totally bogus. Look what it did to my shades."
Sir, I don't think that's the game. I think that's just your aim.
What? You got a problem with my aim, little man? Or little bird, whatever you are? You got a problem with my aim? Excuse me, what happened to the customer's always right, man? I pay for this, man. What the heck?
Sir, I'm just doing my job.
Oh, your job's so great. Look at what it did to me. I want a refund. I want my money back.
Sir, we don't give refunds.
You don't give Hey, where is your manager, man?
I am the manager.
Roll deception. Roll deception.
Duster, let me possess you!
Deception?
Duster was just taken over by the spirit of customer service.
Really?
He's possessed.
16? This guy blinks first and looks a bit taken back and be like, if you're the man, I,
You got a problem with that?
I. The way you run your business is it's really pecking dumb. You should really consider how the customer feels about stuff. Like, we have rights. We deserve to be treated right.
I mean, I am also a person, you know.
I'm gonna talk to someone about this, and they're gonna make sure you don't play in this festival again. And this guy kind of just he lost his fire a little bit as he's just walking away, kind of just grumbling to himself like.
Tell him Ribbit sent ya.
Oh my gosh, Ribbit! Oh my gosh!
Duster is internally panicking, by the way. He doesn't know what just happened.
That was
Wow,
amazing.
Duster got possessed by the spirit of customer service.
That was amazing.
You did great, Dustin.
Name was Duster, it's Ribbit.
I don't know, Dustin, roll insight on Colin.
Oh god.
Yeah, well, also, but while you're doing that, just for pulling the I am the manager bit, Duster, take a point of inspiration. I loved that. That killed. That was so good.
I am shaking in my seat. I'm 4. Duster's too busy with his own problems.
Well, Colin is going to go duck under the counter real quick. And you know what? I'm just gonna have him use his funky paints because it was a thing I wanted to do anyway. And now it's like, talk about how the customer feels and everything. He has an idea, and the idea is he is going to use his marvelous pigment. Like, I imagine it's like, since the paint is like what, 1,000 square feet of a surface, he'll be fine.
Gosh,
Like,
yeah.
it's not gonna make a dent if he decides to paint a sign, and the sign says, hugs, 1 gold piece each.
Oh my god. Oh.
Oh!
Oh my god.
I was drinking water. How could you?
Colin, just as you are finishing that up and are about to place it onto the counter, a shadow looms over you, and it's Antler there now, and he's staring at the sign.
Hi, boss.
Roll insight.
Wait,
You could both roll insight if you'd like.
I'm sorry, I'm still recovering. Ow.
19.
Colin!
What? Colin's like really good at reading Antler right now. Okay, Duster, you can't quite put into exact words what Antler might be feeling, but you have the sense it's not super happy. Colin, you look up at Antler, and Antler's staring at this sign, and Antler just looks so unimpressed. like he's not surprised, but also just like. And Antler will turn his attention to Duster, because he doesn't think he can stand a conversation with you, Colin. He just can't. So he's just gonna look at Duster and be like, "Have you made any progress earning money?"
Yeah.
And this booth, they'll be paying you?
Yep.
Good. Antler gives the sign another look. And he starts walking away, but before he fully walks away, the little girl that a couple booths down that won the burping contest, she comes up to your booth, Colin, sees the sign, and she's barely as tall as the counter, and she just slides 1 gold coin over the counter and smiles up at you.
Aww.
Colin clambers over the counter and just like, one hug coming up and, you know.
Squeeze!
Hug!
Girl gives you big squeeze and a giggle. Antler's watching this like,
I'm gonna laugh if this hug sign is the most profitable thing from this game. That would be so pecking funny.
That would be really funny, wouldn't it? That would be really funny.
Colin pockets the 1 gold because, like, hey, it's his.
Yay!
As you're doing that though, you suddenly hear from behind you like, "What the peck is this?" And the old man has woken up from his nap, looking a bit more rejuvenated, but he's looking confused at you, Colin. He's looking at your sign like, Are you trying to steal my business here? Like, what is this? I didn't say you could do that.
Well, this one customer said we should think about the customers, so I'm thinking about the customers and how they feel.
The customers are idiots. They're just there for you to make money. You know what? You know, and he'll have a look at the cash bank to see how much gold you guys have made, and it's actually not too bad, so he can't complain too much. But that said, he gives you two a look. And goes, you know, I think that's enough. I think that's enough help from you today. You've both been very good help, though. So I'll go ahead and pay you, and you can be on your way with your hug sign.
Colin just just beams at him.
Yep. And
nothing's gonna get this bird down.
I love this bird. So you watch. So you see this man tally through the amount of gold, silver, and whatnot that you earned, and he's going, and out of it he is going to give you. He's going to give you. Burp again. God. He's going to give you 35 gold for your troubles.
Oh, nice. Nice.
All right, there you go, and take that dumb sign with you. I ain't giving hugs.
Duster's just gonna tip his hat and go back under Colin's hat because
Colin's also, I'm gonna have Colin roll, let's say history, just see if he remembers to give the hat back, or.
Please fail. Please forget that the hat is there. Please forget that the hat is there. 12. That's not. I don't think.
I think he almost walks away with it after tipping it, and then it was just like, oh, and then he runs back to the counter and sets it on top.
Oh yeah, thanks. And the man will take it back and shove it back under the counter, and then give you two. A critical look. You're not sure if this guy's capable of looking grateful. But he resumes his own post back on the stool. He gets ready to start working again.
Colin, carrying the sign now. Just over his head.
Colin, at least two more people, as you're walking, come over to give you hugs in exchange for a gold coin. Because to them, you look like, because you're a tiny little bird, you look like a stuffed toy. Like a lot, all the people that want to come over and hug you are basically little kids. Because they're just like, oh, pretty birdie.
Aww.
How's Duster feel about this?
Duster's back under whatever hat Colin is wearing, and he is regretting his life choices.
Duster, I love you. We love you, buddy. You're a good boy.
Duster needs a break. Duster needs a break.
One moment of confidence.
Yep. Speaking of break, we are an hour in now, so I'm gonna say this is a good point to take a small break to refill water, go to bathroom. I know I have to go to the bathroom, so I'm gonna do that real quick.
Oh boy, howdy. Boy, howdy. Oh,
so I'm gonna go ahead and pause the recording, and folks, we will be back with you in about 5 to 10 minutes. Sound good?
Red.
All right, pause the
Yeah.
recording now. Hello. We are back. We are ready. We are hydrated.
We're back.
We have
Woo.
done our business, our duty, if you will.
Woo.
Because I like
Oh, boy.
because I am occasional to the whims of potty jokes. Anyways,
Just occasionally.
occasionally. At this point, we are hopping back to Ruby. And I'm gonna say, Colin and Duster, you're walking around for a bit, probably earning the spare coin from Colin's one gold coin for a hug sign, which is very cute, very cute. I like to imagine Colin's been making like a squeaky toy noise when he gets squeezed.
Yeah, if he gets squeezed hard enough, he does a squeak toy noise.
Very good, very good. But for now, I imagine they'll eventually find their way to wherever Ruby is. Ruby, have you stayed in the same spot Antler left you?
I think Ruby stayed there for a little bit, like chatting with Oliver. Well, like chatting as in like they just give ideas back and forth through like signing and Oliver talking back. And Ruby has come up with a new strategy. I have no idea if it'll work, but it's Ruby's new plan.
Ooh, do tell.
Okay, so the plan consists of Oliver taking a more helpful approach. Oh boy, howdy.
Oh boy, howdy.
The idea that they have come to is that Oliver's gonna be doing the help action, which is gonna be him sneaking up and running up the pant legs of somebody, and then Ruby trying to pickpocket them while they're freaking out over.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And like it's very much their plan is to make it look like Ruby's trying to get her pet back, but
Okay. Let me see what I want. Okay, let me think about what I want to make you roll for this. Well, I'm not gonna make. I'm assuming the help action is just something you just do. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that it will give you an advantage. That the help action that he's doing will give you advantage on what you are doing, and I will. But since you're pretending that you're trying to get your pet back, you're not trying to pickpocket. You're just trying to, find which pocket your weasel just went into. I'm gonna ask you to either do sleight of hand or performance.
It's gonna be sleight of hand, my friend, because performance is a -1.
Oh wow.
Ruby's not very charismatic.
No.
Makes sense when you can't really talk.
No, I didn't notice.
And are a grump. Oh boy, howdy, it's time to roll. Sleight of hand.
17!
17! That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All things considering.
Yeah, I'm gonna say on a 17, I'm gonna say on the first person you do it on, it's a bit like you're a bit nervous on it, but the moment Oliver goes up this guy's pant leg, this tune is a about mid-height horse-headed tune who suddenly is just like, yay! What's in my pants? Oh, it's in my pants! He does start doing the little dance thing, and you, Ruby, are able to run over and start, like, patting him down, like, weasel. Oh, wallet? Don't mind if I do. Weasel. Aha, weasel! And you manage
Exactly!
And you hold up your weasel triumphantly in the air. You hold up Oliver triumphantly in the air, and the horse-headed tune just goes, brrr. Oh, you better watch where your animals go, kid. Oh, that gave me a fright.
Ruby just very apologetically, like, signs, like, a lot of apologies. Just as frantically as she can, make it look like she's very genuinely, I'm very sorry, sir.
Oh, sorry, kid. I don't know a lot of sign language, kid. And he holds up his hooves for obvious reasons. But he will reach over and much like the guy you used charm person on, will ruffle your hair a little bit. Now you go on now and have fun at the rest of the festival. Keep an eye on your pet there.
Ruby just very graciously nods and then gives him a wave as a "I hope you enjoy the festival too" kind of thing, and then scampers off before before they can notice the missing wallet.
Yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah, no, you managed to get good ways away out of earshot when the horse-headed tune, is going to goes off to a booth to buy some food, and he suddenly realizes, like, huh, where'd my wallet go? Oh darn, these stinking hooves, I must have dropped it somewhere. And, congratulations, you stole your first wallet. And I'm gonna say,
very much waiting until, like, there's no eyes that she can see that are on her before she gives Oliver a little high five by lifting up her finger, and Oliver taps his paw against it.
oh my god, that's so cute. That's very cute. That's very cute. I say, I'm gonna say you do this maybe. I'm gonna say you do this about 2-3 more times, and you manage to get. You actually, I'm gonna let you ride on that 17, and say that you managed to get through about 3 more people, and walk away with wallets. Walk away, and you walk away with about. I'm gonna say 6 people's wallets. How much do people usually carry?
This is a festival.
It's a festival, yeah, and Ruby's just walked away with 60 gold.
Oh my gosh! Holy crap, Ruby!
So Ruby, you are a rich 13-year-old child.
Yep.
A wealthy 13-year-old child. And I would like you and Oliver to make a perception.
Okay. Can I do the whole advantage on hearing thing for Oliver again, or is this something that...
You could do the advantage thing on Oliver.
Okay, so that's Ruby's, and then this is Oliver's. Oh, Oliver. That is a 13 from Oliver and a 16 from Ruby.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay, so yeah, you don't notice Colin and Duster, you see Ruby before she sees you. And I would like you to actually no, since Duster you are under Colin's hat, Colin, I would like you to make a perception check at advantage.
Oh.
I will note that this guy's self probably has worn off by now.
Okay. Alright,
Oh boy.
wow.
I think
Okay.
Colin is preoccupied with the hug thing.
That's fair. But at the end of the hug, I will say that you do, Okay, I'm gonna say when you see Ruby, you see she's, paused by a, I'm gonna say this is one of those towns that has a main square in it where there's a board with a map of the place, mostly a map of the map for festival's sake, so that way people know where to go. But then there's another board beside it that's a bulletin board, with multiple like news clippings and whatnot, and you see a couple of wanted posters, blah blah blah. But you see a picture of a little girl with short brown hair on the bulletin board.
Huh.
Does Ruby see this, or does Colin see this?
Colin sees this.
Okay.
Well, let's see if Colin can connect the dots.
Oh boy. Can he?
Can
Oh
he?
boy,
Will
can
he?
he?
Come on, Colin.
Wisdom? Let's say wisdom.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Look, it's not as bad as his intelligence, so...
That's-
12's not. I'm willing to let 12 be.
Look,
I'm willing to say it takes you a while of just staring.
yeah. Wait,
There's a full 10 minutes of this bird staring at this board.
Yeah.
Wait. Is Ruby at the bulletin board?
She is.
I'm just imagine Colin just like looking between her and the wanted poster, and just glancing between the two and squinting for like a good while until he like realizes and gasps and is like, Ruby, Ruby.
Oh my gosh. Ruby kind of like looks up and like looks towards Colin and like gives him a wave.
Ruby. He just like runs like with his little bird feet and is like glancing between like her and the wanted poster again and just kind of like points between them. I was like, what?
Oh my gosh. Ruby kind of blinks and looks towards the poster
Ruby.
that's apparently on the board.
Yep, Ruby, you look up and, I mean, you don't need perception now that it's been pointed out for you. You see a missing persons poster with your face, your face, right, I can't speak, blah, 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 with your face printed right on it. Well, it's more of a drawing interpretation, but it's you. That is your face, Ruby. And your name right below it.
Oh boy.
And and I'm gonna say with the 12 that you rolled, Colin, you haven't noticed the name yet. You just noticed the picture.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm gonna say the moment Ruby notices that, she's going to immediately try to take it off the board.
Are you you're just gonna take it straight off the board?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, Ruby, the moment you basically reach up and snatch it off it, and you know it comes off with a rip, and suddenly you hear from somewhere from behind you, "Hey there, no messing with the poster board. Hang on a minute, it's you again." And you see the same guards from before. You see the same guards from where the giant badger toon and the small, real kind dwarf woman walking towards you. And the dwarf woman has recognized you immediately, Ruby.
Oh boy.
Now, question. And I'm gonna say she looks at you, and she looks at the paper in your hand. And goes, "Well, you're just bouncing with trouble, aren't you?"
Ruby is gonna cast invisibility and run.
Oh, okay. All right. Is there anything I need to do to counter this at all, or?
Well, like invisibility, what it does, to my basic understanding, gives her advantage on stealth. Which, you know.
Okay. I'm just gonna do a quick Google real quick, just so I can.
I have my visuals pulled up. I just put it in the thing.
What?
There.
There it is.
Thank you. Actually makes this a bit easier for me. Let me have a quick read through. Spell ends. Anything creature you touch becomes invisible until the spell ends. Anything target is wearing, carrying is invisible as long as it is on the target's person. The spell ends for a target that attacks or casts a spell. Okay. Okay, so you cast invisibility and suddenly you are gone. And the guards look a bit like, "Whoa, what?" And this creature is possible to see without the aid of magic. Someone just added more. Okay, yeah. You can't be detected by any noise you make, so yeah, I am gonna have to ask you to do a stealth check at advantage since you are invisible.
Okay, well, here's the fun part. Remember the timer from earlier?
Ah, yes.
Aw.
Mm-hmm.
Ruby.
Hey.
So Ruby.
It's just a straight roll.
Yeah, it's just a straight roll. Because Ruby, as you're starting to walk away, you suddenly feel a tug on your legs that slows you down. And we'll see how badly that slows you down.
Yep.
Hmm.
Not too badly.
17, not bad. You feel a tug on your. I'm gonna say. Oh, 17's pretty good. So you feel a tug on your feet for a second, almost as if something's trying to trip you. But you manage to regain your footing. without making too much noise, and you manage to slip away while the guards are looking around confused. And then they look at Colin, and they go, and the dwarf woman looks at Colin very sternly, like, "All right, where did she go?"
I don't know.
You don't know.
Where did she go?
You're very clear. Well, you very clearly know her. Where would she go and hide?
Where would she go and hide?
All right, you know what? I've just had about enough of you. Had enough of you troublemakers. This is a good festival with good people. I've had enough people.
I didn't do anything.
Oh, I'm sure.
I
Oh,
am
I'm
a
sure.
fan of the
And
law.
and Colin, this guard is going to come forward and try and grab you by the feathers to she pulls out from one of her side her hip pockets some handcuffs.
Oh my gosh!
Excuse me. I will have you know I'm innocent.
Oh, that's what they all say, obviously.
Yeah, but should I do persuasion?
I mean, yeah, you can try. That's a 9, yeah. She didn't really believe it to begin with. She definitely doesn't believe it now. And yeah, your feathers are... Your... What?
He was still holding his hug sign. Where is it now?
It's on the ground now. She's knocked it out of your hands to grab your hands and handcuff them behind you.
No.
Oh, not the hug sign.
And she turns to her badger cohort. It's like, okay, you go and try and find the girl. I'll take these two away.
These two.
Sorry, I'll take this. Sorry, my brain is stupid. I'll take this one to make sure he at least doesn't cause any more trouble. Come on.
I have done nothing of the sort.
Yeah. That's what they all say. And before you know it, they've stolen all the good hats from the hat store. Made us work for weeks trying to find all the hats again. Never mind. Come on. And the dwarf lady starts dragging you off, Colin. Ruby, where have you? The badger now goes flat to the ground, or nose flat to the ground, starts sniffing.
Oh boy. Ugh. Ruby has booked it. But like, she's like looking back at the situation she has left behind, and she's feeling bad. Oh no. Oh, she's trying to think of a way out of this, but she's genuinely little she's out of her element. She's freaking out a little bit. I think it probably takes Oliver like calming her down a little bit for her to before she starts, making sure to stay out of sight of and sniffing range of the badger, or at least trying to.
Okay, is she looking where she's going? How?
She's trying to.
All right, I'm gonna ask you to make perception as you're running, as you're bolting, because I'm imagining this that you're not that you're basically running down. You're still within like the crowded areas of the festival where people are walking, so there is foot traffic around that you need to avoid.
Yeah.
4.
Oh, no.
Nope. Ruby.
Oh boy. Yeah. It's like the invisibility cloak from Harry Potter, and she keeps bumping into people.
You.
Oh no.
You're bumping into people with, like, each time you turn a corner, there's always, that time when you turn a corner and someone's turning at the exact same time at the exact same place, and you're just like, oh
gosh.
But in this case, you are not only is no one seeing you in time to stop, they're going straight over your head, Ruby, because you're just bowling into their legs, so they're just like, whoa! And, like, what, and, like, it's this, and actually, it's, on one corner, it's the same horse-headed tune from before that just goes, whoa! And he goes, he goes rolling into one of the other booths, and actually, with enough force to knock it over.
Oh boy.
And each time you look back, you can still see the you've been knocking into enough people, and you still see the badger from behind you. And it's as you're looking behind you that you don't see in time. Once more, someone in front of you, and suddenly, poof! You actually, I need to make a roll.
Gosh.
Gonna make a. Oh man, this is not gonna be good. 15. Oh, thank God. You managed to knock right into something for once that doesn't actually move out of the way, though it almost gets knocked over. Said something, or someone growls for a moment. Goes, oh, what the? Who's what? And suddenly, Ruby, you're getting poked with a staff. Like, who's there?
Oliver very hurriedly squeaks and is like, it's us. We have a bit of a problem.
And Antler looks. He can't really see you. You get the sense that there's a bit of confusion, but then he looks up and sees the trail of madness that you've left behind you, and just goes, ah. And without a word, he just quietly. Oh, you see him you see just as. Let me drink some water real quick before I talk.
Yeah.
It's all in my head. But I have to say things. Okay, Antler quietly puts a bag of gold into his hammer space that he had just gotten, and quietly, without a word, with his free hand, he lifts up his cloak.
Oh my gosh, Ruby immediately skedaddles inside and is.
Yeah, and as soon as you're in, he feel you. I get. Yeah, you're in. This moment you're in. Antler lets it fall, and you are in darkness for a moment. And you can only hear the sniffing coming towards you, and you hear it get so close to the edge of Antler's cloak until Antler goes,
Okay.
"Can I help you?" Oh, sorry, sir. Catching a pickpocket and following the trail. I can see that, but your nose is getting rather close. Oh, apologies, sir. Wait a minute. Ruby.
While this is happening, Ruby has dropped invisibility and is casting Alter Self.
All right.
She looks different now. I don't know if it's significantly different, but now she looks like a Ghibli in tune.
Okay. Okay. So... You hear the sniffing happening until the guard leans back and, sir, I'm gonna need to inquire to see what's hiding under your cloak. What is hiding under my cloak? Nothing is hiding under my cloak, sir. It is a cloak that I am wearing. I just need to roll deception real quick. Deception, yeah, because that's something that's obviously something I gave Antler proficiency in. It's not. 17, oh thank God.
Oh boy.
Ruby, there is a long stretch of silence, of strained silence, as you can only imagine is a stare down between Antler and this giant toon, who is, he is a very giant badger toon, but Antler is tall, and by some miracle is taller than this toon enough to just loom over him, that you can hear the knight step back and go, "Apologies, sir. I'll be on my way then. Sorry for bothering you." And Antler just goes, "Be sure not to do it again." And then Ruby, you hear the sniffling sound again, but it is now getting further and further away.
Oh boy. Ruby waits until the sound is very much far away before she lets out a sigh she did not know she was holding.
This is the second time I've had to save you. What did I say about making proper plans?
Ruby doesn't really say anything. If you want to roll insight, you can.
I mean, You know what? Yeah, sure. I will roll insight. 16.
Yeah. You've been hanging around this kid for like what, close to how long has it been? Nearly a month at this
It's
point?
been
'Cause
almost.
it's been a few weeks.
It's been a couple weeks. It hasn't been a full month yet, but it's getting close.
Like the whole time you've known this kid, you've known that this kid is not easy to startle or scare, but she looks really shaken up. And she's just trying to catch her breath at the moment.
Antler stares down at you, Ruby, and I'm not gonna have you roll insight because, frankly, I think you're a bit too bit too preoccupied to roll an insight back. But he just stares down at you for a bit, because he did lift his coat for a moment to see you, and he sees that you're now disguised as a Giblian, bleh.
One of those.
Yeah. And
And I'd also say, like, with that high of a roll, you also notice, like, the paper that she still has in her hand. She hasn't, like, gotten a chance to, like, put it away or anything.
Antler, yeah, he sees the paper, and he will reach over and hold out a hand for it.
I'm gonna roll something real quick on Ruby. See what she decides to do. Yeah, no! She, like, takes one look at your hand and is keeping it away from the hand. She is not, no, do not trust.
Antler hums for a moment, and he considers something, but instead he stares at you for a bit longer, Ruby, and then he closes his cape, cloak thing, whatever the heck you call it, closes it back over you, and you're in darkness again, and he stays standing still for however long it takes for you to recompose yourself. But he doesn't say anything.
It does take a bit.
Yeah, well, Antler doesn't have anywhere. Antler's not complaining right now. Yet.
Yeah. It does take a while, and eventually Ruby kind of like tries to get out from under the cloak on her own. And she looks down the street where she came from, and like all the chaos that she left behind. Before she does another long sigh and stuffs the missing poster thing into her picnic basket and starts signing to Antler in specifically the secret code sign.
All right.
That hey, the others might also be in trouble.
Of course they are. All right, lead the way.
Okay, Ruby is going to lead the way, I suppose. Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay, so.
Why did you arrest us?
Yeah. So Colin, you've currently been hefted over the shoulder of this dwarf woman, who has now carried you into a tent.
Okay, but also do know. Oh no, who? Okay, no place. Anyway, point is, Colin is screaming his head off the entire time. He's like, the good folks of Inkwell, where is the justice?
Colin, you have managed to turn quite a few heads during your during your screaming, but the dwarf woman looks unfazed as she just walks down the aisles to you towards a tent that have two knights standing guard, and opens it up in a flourish. And
Hey, Fable.
yeah.
Can I do something while we're walking?
What
I
would you?
just had this idea.
Oh, tell me your idea.
Duster's gonna cast Disguise Self again.
Okay.
The same small bird, and then climb out of Colin's hat and go. You said they put Duster over the shoulder, right?
Yeah, Colin is over.
Yeah.
Colin is over the dwarf's shoulder. Yes.
Duster gonna stand in this bird form, so he's eye level with this dwarf, and just go, you know, we didn't do anything, right?
And the
I think
dwarf
this
woman
might be an abuse of power.
and the dwarf woman blinks for a second and stares at you and goes, "Who the peck are you?
Ribbit, nice to meet you.
Are you with this bird here? This other bird?
Well, yes.
Make a dex save."
Okay. 16.
16. You just managed to dodge as this woman goes to grab you with her free hand.
What do you think you're doing? Don't you know it's rude to pick people up on a... I'm sorry, I'm shaking. Ugh, fuck.
No, it's okay. No, take a breath if you need to.
Okay. Sorry.
Now you're trying to arrest my friend!
Ma'am, don't you know it is incredibly rude to pick up a tiny like that? That is manhandling, and I do not take kindly to that.
Listen,
This is an
it's
abuse
been-
of power. Nothing here is going right.
Listen,
What crimes
it's
have we committed?
crimes for.
What crime?
You really.
What crimes?
What crimes? Do you know how many people have come complain to me about pickpocketing? Do you know how many wallets have gone missing today?
Does it look like I can pickpocket?
Well,
I am 7 inches tall.
Well, I don't mean to offend, but you're small enough to fit in a pocket. And as far as I'm concerned, sir, you were with a suspect. And for all
How
I
is he a suspect?
both of you were with the subs.
I am a private investigator!
I'm.
Do you even know if we were with them?
You
We
were
were in
right.
the same area.
You were right
And that
next.
was it.
You were right next to her. Now either you could come now. Maybe I'm wrong. I could and I'll be willing to admit that I am if I am. But for all I know, you're both incredibly guilty. I don't know that until I bring you in for questioning. So either you could come quietly and come compliantly, or I have to force you. Like this.
Well, if you take the handcuffs off.
No offense, buddy, but I've had smaller tunes than you try and scratch my eye out when I've tried to bring them in. So you'll forgive me if I'm not completely
Yes,
trusting.
feathers.
What?
I don't think feathers are very good for scratching.
Not very good for scratching.
You have a beak and you've got claws. Do I need to make? Oh my god, you're both so.
Claws? I got feathers! And Duster does in fact have feathers in this very good disguise.
Oh, God, tunes in this town are so stupid. God. Okay. You know what? I've had a long day of dealing with people.
Also, I'm just God. Well, is she just considering taping Colin's mouth shut?
She's thinking about it. Listen, she's just trying to do her job, man. Like, she can't count, like, listen, you could very well be innocent, but I can't count you out of the equation yet until I have all the variables. You get me? I'll be more than willing to listen, if this is a huge misunderstanding, I'm more than willing to compensate you for it. But I need to be sure that you're not involved with the wallet snatching.
Would you at least be able to let him walk on his 2 feet? This is right demeaning, you know.
Roll persuasion. At advantage.
Okay. Duster knows a thing or two about being picked up. Literally.
God, I'm laughing. This is the angriest Colin has ever been.
Which is impressive.
Can I use my inspiration, please?
You may use your inspiration.
Yes.
And this dwarf just looks at you, looks at Colin. Fine, but if you try anything, forget compensation. You're immediately staying in the hold for the night. Am I clear?
Crystal.
All right.
Duster tips his hat again.
Fine. And she will slowly put you down, but she will still hold you by the handcuffs. She's not that trusting, unfortunately, to let you go. But you are on your own 2 feet.
Colin harumphs, but he walks quietly now.
And she takes you into a tent. Into a tent, and she stops there and goes hut, and hut kind of thing, and does a salute. Captain, sir, I've brought in 2 suspects for the possible wallet napping. Yes, that's fine. Yes, that's fine. Put them over there for now. Yes, sir.
Do you think they heard them from across the street?
Definitely heard. I mean, definitely heard Colin's ramblings, but you see a tall, slender, cat-like Toon sitting at a desk, looking over a couple of papers. This is kind of like a makeshift police tent that they have here for now. And you can see off to the side. It's a sizable tent that has enough room for a couple cages to be placed for cell bars, pretty much. And the dwarf lady guides you over there, and nudges you in. She doesn't shove you in.
He just trots in. He's looking very old and grumpy.
All right, and you both wait here for now, and someone will come to question you in a bit. All right.
All right.
Okay.
But I'm innocent.
Sure.
I'm sorry. I'm trying so hard not to laugh at the art. And the art cookie button again. I'm just like,
Oh my god. I mean, it's such a good image to see a bird who's almost never angry be absolutely enraged, and it's pretty great.
yes.
I feel like I've made an accomplishment making Colin angry. I don't know how proud I should be of that accomplishment. Anyways, the dwarf gives you a look over, nods, gives one more salute to the captain at the desk before leaving the tent. And the captain looks over a few more papers for a second before putting them down. And he slowly gets up from the desk and walks over to the cage and has a look at you. He's wearing glasses.
Colin glares up.
So,
If you could see Duster's eyes, he'd be raising an eyebrow.
So, here are the suspects brought in for today. So, you know why you're here?
Nope. We got accused of something, I know that much.
You're here.
We got accused of pickpocketing, which I did not do.
We've had several pickpocketing incidents that have happened at the festival, which is nothing new. As it is a crowded place. However, if I'm to mark you off as not being suspects, I will need to know where you were at the time these pickpocketings were taking place.
We were
at a ball throwing stall.
That. We
Ball
were
throwing
assisting.
stall?
Yes, with the cups.
If I'm understanding. With the old man running it, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Alright, I will have someone go and corroborate your story in a minute. I've also been told that the main pickpocketer was a young girl in a red coat. Brown hair. You know who I am talking about?
Ruby.
No.
Who's Ruby?
He tilts his head at you, Colin. Ruby is her name? He goes.
Yeah, no. Wait, give me a second. Let me, I'm just gonna... Deception? Yeah, that's +3.
That's in that one!
Can I give Colin an advantage by Duster, like, hitting him upside the hat and goes, don't just...
Yeah.
There's a lot of amongst a lot of people that have brown hair, it can't automatically be Ruby.
Yeah, and she wouldn't steal.
Yeah, go ahead and roll at advantage.
Please.
15, okay. This
I
cat
believe in Ruby and she wouldn't steal.
this cartoon looks at you both for a moment. For a moment, you can't read. This guy's expression is stone cold. By the way, it has not moved an inch as he has stared at you. But he stares at you for a good moment. This Ruby you're talking about. Why can't it not be Ruby?
Colin is like he doesn't hesitate because she's my friend and she wouldn't steal because she
She's
she
a
would
very
not.
nice, upstanding young girl.
Exactly.
Very studious.
She's smart.
Well, thank you for answering my questions. I will be.
Look, his intelligence is -3.
I will go see if your story checks out, and if it does, you will be free to go. If not, you will. If not, you will, and if the actual pickpocketer cannot be caught, you will have to pay the sentence. You understand? And before you can answer, he goes and he leaves the tent. And you're gonna be stuck there for it's gonna be a while for them to corroborate the story, because Ruby, you left a bit of a mess behind you for the festival security to clean up.
I did. Ruby did.
Yep. Speaking of Ruby.
Duster, can I do something real fast? Because
Oh.
I think it's funny.
Yeah.
Duster leans over to Colin and whispers, "What is a sentence?"
What?
What is a sentence? What is a sentence? Colin doesn't. Duster doesn't know what prison is. He doesn't know what's happening.
Well, Colin does know what is. Wait. Okay.
What is a sentence?
Well,
What is
we'll
a
be. That is when you get put into jail.
What's a jail?
Oh my god.
Well, it's what we're in right now, kind of, except made of bricks.
Duster.
A lot of buildings are made of bricks.
Duster, you sweet summer child.
Tiny.
He doesn't know what a government is.
I know, and
What is a government?
I love him. But alright, I think at this point we're gonna cut over to Ruby. And Ruby, where have you led Antler?
Probably to like where the last time she saw like Colin and Duster with the people who were, trying to grab her. But like she's very purposely like staying not near the area, like kind of giving it a wide berth, if that makes sense.
Okay, I'm gonna say roll. I'm gonna say roll perception.
Oh boy, perception, because she's wonderful at that. Oh, please. Okay, 13. 13.
13? Okay, I am also gonna roll for Antler.
Oh, I'm also gonna roll for Oliver, because I keep forgetting that I can do that with Oliver.
Yeah, you can do that.
Oh, Oliver got a 17.
17 and 18.
Oh, but Antler got an 18!
Yeah, Antler with 18, but with his 17, because I imagine Oliver pointed out to Ruby. As you're walking, you notice that there's a few more knights walking about. They're walking about, and they're asking people for the. And you pass by one close enough. Luckily, you keep out of sight. Thanks to Antler. He's very looming, so he's very easy to just hide behind.
Mm-hmm.
But you manage to hear one of the guards asking people like if they've seen a little girl matching your description, with short brown hair and a bright red coat.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah, and Antler and Antler, hearing the same, goes, this could be a problem.
Oh boy, Ruby is just. Uh... She's like rubbing her face and like trying to think of something to do. And Oliver is actually the one who pipes up, and Oliver says, "Ah, I don't have much in my hammer space, but do you perhaps have something we could use to cover up the red coat?"
I should have something. And let me just roll hammer space real quick. The problem will be making it fit. 9. Antler pulls out a almost a carbon duplicate of his bright red cape. Fur coat and hood and everything, but it is his size. He pulls it out of his robe sleeve. Looks at it, looks at Ruby. Perhaps
kind of snorts.
Perhaps it would be better if you remained invisible.
Ruby takes a deep breath and sighs, and she drops Alter Self and casts invisibility again. That is her second spell slot. Second level spell slot. That is the last one.
Antler's just gonna, while you're doing that, and before you do that, Antler holds up a hand, like, wait, not in the middle where people can see you. And he holds up his cape again for you.
Oh gosh, Ruby once again.
Roll insight though on this old man.
Oh boy. That's a 14.
That's enough. You can tell he's not happy about the situation, and and honestly, he doesn't want to really help you with this. But he doesn't want to, but he's going to. So let's just get this over with.
All right, Red. I'm so sorry, Antler. Oh, anyway, Ruby does in fact do all the scooting under, turning invisible, scooting back out.
Yeah, of all the people he expected to give him more trouble today, it was not Ruby. He expected to be cleaning up Colin or maybe possibly even Duster's messes. But Ruby, he thought you were smart, man.
Ruby is smart. She's just not very good at stealing.
You're a child, so maybe next time he'll give you better direction on what to do. For now, though, he lets you hide under his cape. Gives it a couple moments for when he thinks you're casting the spell before casually opening his cloak again and just be like, just follow me from behind.
Ruby nods, and even though Antler can't see it, and before she sighs, and Oliver gives an affirmative. Because you can't see her nod when she's invisible. So she will be following behind Antler.
Cool. I'm gonna make a roll for Antler because he actually hasn't asked you about it. He hasn't actually asked you where Colin and Duster were. That's a 10. Antler takes a couple steps forward, stops, and makes an aggravated growl. Before just ever so slightly turning his head over his shoulder, just enough that you can tell that he's looking at you, but maybe just looking off to the side at a booth, and says, "Familiar. Where did you last see Colin and Duster, or the rat?"
Oh, and like Oliver's voice pipes up from invisible Ruby. Well, we last saw them by the board. And like Oliver, he goes to point it out before he realizes, oh wait, invisible. Give me a second, and he's going to very cautiously hop down off of Ruby and then try to climb up Antler to be on his shoulder so that he can give better direction.
Just a second, is the hug sign still there?
Yes, the hug sign is still on the ground beneath the bulletin board.
Oh gosh. Oliver scampers up and points out towards the board area for Antler, and we were right around there when we bumped into Colin and Duster, and were approached by guards who recognized Ruby. Oh boy, is that? Oh no. He sees the sign, and like Antler can hear the sigh as Oliver covers his face with his little paws.
Yeah, Antler sees it as well and gives an equal just. Wonderful. Well, it seems I'll be cleaning up more than just your mess. Very well. And Antler will start walking off, away from the bulletin board, leaving the sign where it is.
Yep.
Yep.
And Ruby's gonna follow behind, and Oliver's gonna stay on the shoulder to give more directions and help. He wants to get hopped down, but like, you know what?
I think
Might as well just sit here.
I think it's. You know what? Antler's just not gonna say anything about it. He's a bit more focused on just walking, so that even if you try giving him directions, he's already turning that way. Like, he kind of already knows where he's going. He had to look at the map. Of the festival, so he actually knows where the. He made a note beforehand, before actually even coming, of where the police tent was gonna be.
I can't believe. I can totally believe this. Never mind.
Yeah. So
He had
I feel
high
like-
expectations.
his expectations were low.
I'd
Did we
say
do
like
the whole deal?
the second time Oliver tries to get directions, he gets the point, and he just very awkwardly sits there on the shoulder, sweating.
Yeah, Antler had low expectations. He expected it to be Ruby he was breaking out of jail, not.
Not the other way around.
But like, he expected, like, if anyone was gonna get, like, full on caught, be Ruby, but whatever.
But Ruby has invisibility.
Yeah, she has invisibility, so that's working for her.
It is.
Yeah, so Colin and Duster, as you're sitting there, you hear a familiar voice outside going, "Excuse me, I'm looking for my companions." Oh, of course, sir. Could you describe them for us? Yes, one is a small bird about yay high. And the other, sir? I doubt he's missing, but it's somewhere. And you hear the guards give, okay. And one of the guards comes in and goes, and sees you, Colin, in the cage, and goes, ah. And then goes, Captain, sir, we have a person here looking for our, well, and he again gestures at you. Just. Does Colin say that out loud?
No, he didn't. Because, like, I want to do, but he's like, he wouldn't.
Pretty good though. It's pretty good though. And the captain was at his desk again, waiting for someone. The person going to corroborate your story still hasn't come back yet. But he goes and he's gonna go to the. He's gonna go. Yes, I will speak to them in a moment. He will go out for the next few minutes because I don't want to talk to myself for next couple moments. The Antler and the guard captain both talk for a little while the captain explains the situation, and Antler doesn't comment on it. Ruby, you're there. You're invisible.
Mhm.
Ruby, roll
Wow.
stealth. Ruby, roll stealth.
Oh no. Oh no. Great. That's fantastic. That's a 9.
It's a 9. Ruby,
Oh,
you.
I'm giving advantage, please. Please. Please, I beg of you.
Ruby. listen, Ruby. You suddenly feel someone bump into you, and they hadn't stopped. They hadn't seen you to stop, so they just go cartwheeling over you. And guess what? It's the horse-headed tune again.
Oh my god!
And it goes, whoa! And boom! Right to another booth. And the captain and Antler
Ruby's
both.
invisible. Ruby's invisible, but she makes like the what kind of hand gestures at this dang horse tune who has bumped into her so many times.
Yep.
What is with these tunes?
And Antler and the captain both watch as this happens, and Antler looks at it with some disinterest, but the captain looks not at all surprised. Just goes, Philip again. Yeah, okay. But it turns, and as that happens, another guard comes by. It's the dwarf. It's the not dwarf Toon, the real kind dwarf lady. Comes back again and goes, "Sir, we went to the ball game booth, and he can corroborate that the small black bird tune was in fact working for him for when the pickpocketing was happening." "Oh, is that so? Well then we best let them go and apologize for the misunderstanding." And the dwarf lady would go, "Yes, sir." And Colin, you see the dwarf lady come into the tents and unlock the cage and go, "Well, I guess you were right. I owe you an apology."
Apology accepted, because I am a reasonable dude who doesn't go arresting people. You haven't done nothing wrong.
Duster, this bird Duster is giving the most unimpressed look.
He's got his like beak up in the air as he like trots off.
She doesn't really look surprised. She doesn't really look offended. It's like, no, yeah, I get, yeah, that's. She doesn't. She'd be pissed too if that happened to her. She doesn't. She's a guard that's not too surprised or doesn't blame you, for once. But yeah, you walk out and there's Antler and the captain standing there in front.
Hi, boss.
Yes, hello.
Duster tips his bird, like, the bird Duster tips his hand and goes, "Howdy."
He just turns to the captain, goes, "Well, if there's nothing else, we would like to go and enjoy the rest of the festival." And the captain goes, "No, of course, sir." And he turns to you, Colin, and Duster goes, and I would like to extend my apologies to you for the misunderstanding. We do appreciate, though, for you complying.
Colin just gives a nod and a harumph and walks off.
Yeah. Antler actually looks at you, Colin, for a moment. Is this the first time he's ever seen you mad?
It is.
It's like, huh. Well, there's something. But Antler will go ahead and follow after.
Duster's gonna slip back under the hat because
Too much interaction.
Too much interaction.
Too much.
Also, real quick, just because I've been sitting on this and I didn't count on Colin getting arrested before he got to see Antler again, and he's like, hey boss, so, he's like really quickly back to his usual cheerful demeanor, like after like, well, anyway, boss, I lost my, sign, but do know that hugs for you are free.
Touch, if you so much as touch me, you will find your feathers will burn very quickly.
Keeps walking.
And Antler keeps walking until you're far away from the police tent. Until actually,
Thank goodness Ruby is mute because she was laughing.
Antler can hear the slight wheezing sound that you make when you laugh. And Antler just shakes his head a bit. But it isn't until you've gotten a good bit away from the tent. Actually, Antler is taking you all back towards the entrance that leads to the north end of the town, back to the ruins. But he stops at the entrance, of course. This is just, he isn't leaving yet. Just a place that's away from the crowd. And he turns back to you and says, "Well, that was a fruitful adventure, I hope. How much have you all made?"
That would be about 40 gold.
40. Okay.
Ruby, it takes her a little bit to drop invisibility because she's still a little nervous, but eventually she drops it and starts rummaging through her picnic basket and holds up a little pouch of all the gold coins that she's taken from many wallets.
What has she done with the wallets?
Probably dumped them somewhere, honestly.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go...
It's the police!
Oh no, the police, they're coming!
The police are...
They're following the trail of abandoned wallets on the ground. Okay, Antler looks at the spoils you've all collected, and he reaches into his own robes and pulls out a hefty bag of gold coins. There's no question where he got it. But he looks between.
That's a lot.
But he looks between all of you and goes, "This may not be enough, but it'll be enough to at least get us started."
Oh boy.
That said, Antler will hold out his hand for your for your bags of gold.
Yep. Ruby gives all of the gold pieces she'd given. If Antler had not helped her, she would have only given a couple of them. And kept some for herself, but she is very thankful for the help, and so he gets all the money.
Yeah, he takes the bag, adds it to his, looks over at you, Colin.
Oh yeah, Colin gives it. Also, Mark is asking, add the additional 12 gold from gallery reactions. What is that?
Oh my gosh, the doodle with the Colin holding the sign has 12 little gold coins!
Oh my god, okay, yeah, Colin, you've gotten, from your hug sign, you've gotten an additional 12 gold.
Nice. That makes it 52.
Nice.
Nice!
Nice.
Nice!
Colin hands it over to Antler. No questions asked.
Alright. Antler weighs the bag with his own hand and actually... Oh, wait. Hold on. This is actually a good amount of gold that you guys have gotten. I'm gonna just roll something. Just gonna roll. That's 9. Antler weighs it a bit, holding it up and down. Suddenly you hear a... And Antler's arm pops off. It falls to the ground with the bag. It's still holding them together so none of the gold spills out, but it's just the gold bags with Antler's arm on the ground. You just see the bit of bone at the elbow, and Antler just stares at it. And he...
Ruby is looking at this bug-eyed, like, what?
Duster has
And
lifted up
she's
the hat
pointing
slightly.
directly at the arm, like, what?
Yeah, Colin is also like looking in alarm, like, I don't think that's supposed to do that.
Well,
No, it's probably not. And Antler will pick up his arm, pop it back into his elbow, and then take the gold bags one at a time and put them in his robes. But he will stop at the last bag, and I'm gonna roll. Just gonna roll something if he decides to do this. Okay. Antler will pause for a moment and open the bag. He'll open the bag up, and take he'll take a very small handful of gold and doesn't hand any to Duster because he understands that Duster has no concept of money. But hands one handful to Colin and one small handful to Ruby, and says, I will be. There's nothing to do until the festival is over. Businesses are closed. So for now, you may entertain yourselves, though, Ruby, you will likely need to remain in disguise while you're here.
Ruby kind of winces because she is out of spell slots for disguises.
Wait, give me a second. Let me have Colin roll insight on Ruby. It's a 16.
It's a 16! Colin's insights have been really good.
He sees her, he sees her face fall, and after some rummaging around, can I just have this? I don't want to roll hammer space, or should I just do hammer space? Let's see.
Fumble! Fumble!
Yeah, if only I could. If only I knew what his future was. So let me just.
Can I come up with something?
Sure, go ahead.
Colin, you reach into your hammer space, you rummage around a bit, and you pull out a wet fish that's flapping around. Glub, 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 glub. Roll hammer space again. You reach back in and you pull the same exact fish out. Glub, 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 glub.
Is there any body of water nearby?
Antler just uses his staff to point towards the river that the town is really built next to. Glub, 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 glub. A few minutes later, you see the fish breach the water, like glub, almost like a free willy. Glub, glub, sploosh, swims away.
Okay.
3. I'm just gonna go.
Look, can we just let him?
Yeah. I'm just gonna let you have it. I had
Okay.
enough fun with the fish.
Okay. Yes. So, Colin gets out his disguise kit, pulls out a mustache, and puts it on Ruby's face.
Ruby, like, blinks as she looks down at the mustache. And she looks extremely confused. She's just... You can roll insight if you want.
He has elected to put it on her face. So he just kind of slaps it on them. So insight, okay.
It wasn't even that hard.
Your insight is great.
Ruby is convinced that this is not gonna work, but you know what? She appreciates the gesture.
Maybe if you give Ruby a hat.
Colin puts his own hat on top of Ruby. It's a little small, but
Antler just shakes his head takes Ruby's hat, takes Colin's hat off of Ruby, puts it, stuffs it back onto Colin's head, and rummages through his own hammer space. He pulls out pulls out a straw hat from his hammer space
Hat.
and places it on Ruby's head. There. The people here are exceedingly dumb enough. That should work for now.
Yeah, Ruby just nods in agreement. Ruby just nods. Like, yeah, the people here are stupid.
So
no hesitation.
So I'm gonna say for the rest of the day. So for the rest of the day, you have been basically let free to actually have fun and go play games, go on some of the rides that have been, and watch performances. You have been given free reign to actually have fun at this festival. Ruby, you had a couple guards kind of look your way for a bit because you are wearing the signature red coat, but they see the hat, they see the mustache, and go, "Oh, okay, no, it's not who we're looking for," and then they go on their way.
And the mustache. Don't forget the mustache.
No, yeah, and the mustache. They go like, no, see, they got a mustache on. That clearly isn't who we're looking for.
I gotta say, the first time it works, Ruby just like looks down at Colin like, what? What?
Also, really quick, I do want to have like like on the way back to the festival, Colin is gonna be like, and they said you are the ones stealing all of the wallets. That's absurd. You wouldn't steal.
Oh my gosh. Ruby's trying so hard not to laugh at that. Ruby's trying so hard.
I do want to say Duster has not gone back to the festival. He dipped like as soon as he could, cause
Fair enough.
That is valid.
Yeah, Antler has also Antler has
enough bravado for today.
yeah, and Antler's frankly has had enough of this happy, merry setting, so he's also going to head back as
It's
well.
okay. Ruby's gonna get a caramel apple for Duster. A whole caramel apple.
Aww. And yeah, you well, at least Ruby and Colin managed to enjoy the rest of their day, maybe even into the night a little bit,
Yeah.
to watch fireworks. Duster even from the ruins, and Antler's back to, Antler went to the library as soon as he got back. But Duster, as nightfall came, you could also see the colorful fireworks in the distance, as the little corner festival slowly comes to an end. And I'm gonna say that is a good place to end it for today. Thank you all for playing. Thank you all for playing, and I hope you had fun.
Hold on.
I did.
Wait, what? What magic?
Go ahead.
No, you can go first.
I wasn't saying anything. I just said I had fun.
Yeah, I also had fun. But I actually did want it to maybe end the scene with I think after the festival is done and they eventually get back to the ruins, Ruby doesn't like go into the library, but she does leave the poster by the door for Antler to find later.
Oh.
And she just, yeah, because like she feels like she owes an explanation. So like there's like the poster along with a little note before she slips off to
And what does the
go back to her.
What does the note say?
I could maybe get back to you that later on the DMs because I can't think of it on the fly.
Okay. I'm gonna say, Ruby, the next time you pass by the library after leaving that note, you notice that the poster and the note itself is gone. And yeah, it's just gone. But the next time you see Antler, he doesn't say anything.
Okay. Okay.
Is there anything else anyone wanted to do?
I think we're good.
Alright. In that case,
I don't have anything.
Alright, in that case, I'm gonna go ahead and end the recording. Thank you thank you all for joining us. Hope to see you next time for the 5th installment of Ruindall Rambles. But until next time, thank y'all for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.